Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakah, Kodash. Send double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to Yakim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, sincerity and truth. This is the brother Ariala. And on this lesson, I just want to talk about more witchcraft from Esau, man. More witchcraft, sorcery we see, and, there's this recent KFC commercial that came out that is pushing more and more, overt left hand magic and witchcraft and sacrifices that the scriptures talk about and condemn. We've said since the time of the Paris Olympics, Esau has been more adamant about pushing, the imagery of how they worship on the left hand side, and those idols and those gods, man. And this is another example of them blatantly pushing, left hand idol worship. This is why this place is Babylon the Great, which we understand Babylon was filled with idols, man. But Baal goes back to confusion, right? And it's condemned in the scriptures. I'll open up with this scripture real quick. This is Leviticus 18:21. Thou shalt not lead any of thy seed, talking about the Israelites, thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am the Lord, Yahweh. Right? These things are these sacrifices. All right, they're doing these sacrifices. They're doing all of this left-handed magic that the scriptures condemn. And we see it all the time, man. We see it all the time. In the Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter. And then when you skip down, it talks about idol worship really throughout the whole chapter, but it gets to a part where it says the results of idolatry here in the GNT, and it says one thing led to another. It was not enough to be wrong about the knowledge of the Most High. They lived in a state of evil warfare, but they were so ignorant that they called it peace, right? They murdered children in their initiation rituals, celebrated secret mysteries, and held wild ceremonial orgies with unnatural practices. And now we got all this information coming out about Epstein's and Diddy's and all the stuff that goes on. These things are ancient customs that have never stopped to draw in, left-handed spiritual power, man. Okay? And so I'm going to play this video, man, and it's going to show you.
The KFC commercial. Has anyone seen this? Chris, have you seen this?
I don't know.
Okay, no, you would know.
Okay, then no.
Okay, so this is a 2-minute long commercial. I don't know if you want to do this now after the break, but this is making the rounds here, and it's a KFC commercial, and just see if it makes you want to eat some KFC.
Okay.
Okay. Hide your kids from this commercial.
Now, the first thing you see here is what? The groves. They're in the forest. They're in the thick of the trees, and these are places where rituals will go down, as mentioned all over the scripture. King Solomon was making places out in groves for his wives to go and worship idols. When you read in the scripture, I had pulled it up and just kind of cross-referenced it. One of the major idols was Ashtoreth, and it's linked with, Baal and all those type of things. 1 Kings 11:5 says, for Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And so you cross-reference that part. When it goes down to the 33rd verse, it talks about, because they have forsaken me, they have worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways to do that which is right in my eyes, and to keep my statutes and my judgment, as did David his father. Okay. Judges 2:13, and they forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtoreth. Our people was always getting mixed up in this crap. Right? Let's see. I want to see a third one. There it goes. 2 Kings 23:13. It says, "And the high places that were before Jerusalem, which were on the right hand of the Mount of Corruption, which Solomon the king of Israel had builded for Ashtoreth, the abomination of the Zidonians and Chemosh and of the Moabites and Milcom of Ammon." Right? So these high places were deep in like groven areas. Okay? And this is mentioned throughout the scripture. 1 Kings 14:22, it says, "And Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins which they had committed above all that their fathers had done. For they also built them high places and images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree." See? "And there were also Sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel." See, this is where you get those practices of being, a sodomite, men on men, women on women, like it mentioned in Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter. They was doing all these, sexual rituals, and that's what it's all, based upon when you look at Ashtoreth, fertility and being a freak. And they push these energies out, and people don't realize what they're taking in when they watch this stuff. They're taking in all types of wickedness. Jeremiah 7:31, it says, "And they have built the high places of Tophet, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my heart." See? All these things, sacrifices and, sexual deviancy is associated with the idol worship. And you're gonna see. So we see him in these groves. We see him in the thicket. And let's check this out.
You've been warned.
And it's funny. It's funny, real quick. They do these type of things during the time of the spring equinox. Okay, when the stars are lined up. We've been having all these celestial events, and so they'll drop this magic on during those times. Easter. I mean, you know what they have in Easter, the eggs and everything like that, which is kind of linked back to Ishtar and Ashtoreth and all these different fertility gods in different type of ways.
Chicken in the woods and doing a staring contest. I don't know where this chick came from. Got a vest now or something that fell out of the sky. Oh, the sky. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, now we got a lot of people coming down out of trees and whatnot. Okay.
And this is what they would
It's
do.
getting real creepy.
This is what they do in the groves, man. They would gather like this in those groves, and you can tell they're getting ready for a sacrifice.
Getting some chanting happening. Very, very cultish behavior. Oh, whoa, what? Oh, and now they rise up out of the middle of them. Of course. Okay, now everybody's scattering. What is the deal? KFC. Okay. Oh, now they've got a giant egg. Okay. Yeah, it's a giant egg. See, now they're carrying the giant golden egg, and they keep dropping it. Feels like a demonic ritual happening, but maybe that's just me. But so far, it makes no sense at all, especially for a chicken.
But it makes sense to the elite because this is just a ritual that they pushing on everybody, man. That's all it is, man.
Ad. Okay. Now they're staring off in the distance. That's gravy. That's a big pile of gravy. Oh wait, now she's carrying him out into the gravy. Okay. So it's like a lake of gravy. It's a lake of gravy. Mm-hmm. Of course. I mean, you act like you've never seen a lake of gravy. Gravy lake. And she's gonna drop the first guy in the lake of gravy? I guess. I don't know what's happening. Let's find out. Oh, she's dipping him into the gravy. Okay. Now he's clearly struggling as you see him breathing under the gravy. Yeah. And now he's chicken. What the hell did we just watch? Believe in chicken. Yeah.
What? KFC.
I I will personally never be eating KFC.
That's fantastic. What was that?
I don't know if
They literally turned the dude into chicken, basically a human sacrifice, eating human flesh, man. They literally just had a whole sacrificial ritual on TV. They're getting more and more bold with this stuff, man. These are all ancient customs and practices, man. So I put this into Gronk 3. What is some Ashtoreth and Ishtar brief history and connections? All right, just to get some old knowledge on it. It says Ashtoreth and Ishtar are two names for a goddess figure that appears across ancient Near Eastern cultures, reflecting a shared tradition of worship with regional variations. Here is some brief history and their connections. Ashtoreth, known in the Hebrew Bible, was a prominent deity among the Canaanites and Phoenicians, often associated with fertility, love, and sometimes war. She is frequently mentioned alongside Baal, a major male god, as a divine consort symbolizing the interplay of male and female forces in nature. Her worship was widespread in ancient Israel, with references in texts like Judges, the 2nd chapter, 1 King 11, where she is linked to the Phoenicians, Zidonians. The name Ashtoreth likely derives from the Shemitic root, I guess they put strav, with the Hebrew form altered by scribes to include vowels from Bashith, right? Possibly a pejorative twist. Ishtar, her Mesopotamian counterpart, right, was a central figure in Babylonian and Assyrian religion, embodying love, sexuality, fertility, and war. Known as Il-Nana in earlier Sumerian culture, she's involved in a complex deity. She's evolved into a complex deity celebrated in myths like the descent of Il-Nana, all right, where she journeys to the underworld. Ishtar was tied to the planet Venus, reflecting her dual role as the morning and evening star, right? And her cult involved rituals that could include temple prostitution, highlighting her associating with sexual love, right? The connection between Ashtoreth and Ishtar is rooted in their shared Semitic origins and overlapping domains. Both goddesses stem from broader Northwest Semitic tradition, with Ishtar's name from the Akkadian and Ashtoreth from Canaanite/Phoenician. All right, let's see. It says scholars see them as a regional expressions for the same archetype adapted to local cultures. For instance, the Phoenician Astarte, a direct link between the two, spread to places like Cyprus and influenced Greek Aphrodite, showing how this goddess figure traveled and transformed. Diana, Aphrodite, all these things, right? All these things, man. But I'm going to skip down. I said, were there blood rituals or sacrifices associated with these idols? Yes. Blood rituals and sacrifices were associated with worship of both Ashtoreth and Ishtar, though the specifics vary by region, culture, and time period. For Ashtoreth, evidence from Canaanite and Phoenician practices suggests that sacrifices, including blood offerings, were part of their cult. The Hebrew Bible hints at this directly in texts like 1 Kings 11 and 5 through 7, 2 Kings 23 and 13. We read that. It says, mention her worship alongside other deities like Molech, who was explicitly linked to child sacrifice, and we read this too, Leviticus 18 and 21. While Ashtoreth herself isn't directly tied to a human sacrifice in these texts, the broader Canaanite religion context included animal sacrifices such as sheep, goats, bulls to appear to honor deities, right? Let's see. The connection between these two lies in their shared Shemitic roots near the Eastern tradition of using blood to bridge the human and divine. Both goddesses, as fertility figures, were linked to life cycles, birth, growth, death, where blood, animal or otherwise, symbolized vitality and renewal. And you best believe that when you look at these elites, they're doing these different sacrifices on humans, and that's why they portray it in this video. You know, what dudes are dipped in the gravy, but you know that's likened unto blood, and then he's literally made into something that you eat. Okay, and so they're tapping into this stuff, man. It says, going back to the connection. It says, while Asterisk rituals are less documented due to scarcity of Canaanite texts, Ishtar's well recorded practices likely reflect a similar logic adapted locally. Neither goddess is as explicitly tied to human sacrifices as, say, Molech and certain Mesoamerican deities, but their worship undeniably involved bloodshed, primarily through animals to sustain their divine roles. So, yes, blood ritual and sacrifices, mostly animal, possibly human, in rare or extreme cases, were a part of their veneration. Okay? Now, I went on to put, why were these rituals done in groves? Okay? It says the association of rituals for Ashtoreth and Ishtar with groves, sacred wooded areas, stems from ancient Near Eastern religious practices tied to nature, fertility, and symbolic power of specific landscapes. Okay? It says, I'm just going to read this top part. For Ashtoreth, the Hebrew Bible frequently mentions her worship in the groves or in the high hills, right? 1 Kings 14:23, 2 Kings 17. These groves are often translated from the Hebrew term Esherim, which can mean both the goddess's name and the wooded poles or trees linked to her. Her natural or cultivated stands of trees considered sacred. Were natural or cultivated stands of trees that was considered sacred. The Canaanites saw trees as symbols of life and fertility, mirroring Ashtoreth's domain. The grove's shade and seclusion provided a natural temple, a place where the divine could dwell, and its evergreen or flourishing nature reflected her role in renewal and growth. Blood rituals like animal sacrifices performed there reinforced this connection, spilling life into the earth to sustain the cycle she governed, right? And then it says for Ishtar, there's less information. It talks about texts like the Sumerian Elnai and the Halupu tree linked her to trees, suggesting a mythic association with wooded settings. And we see it all over the scriptures. Why groves specifically? Across these cultures, groves held spiritual weight for practical and symbolic reasons. 1. Fertility and life. Trees embodied the goddess's life-giving powers. Evergreen or fruit-bearing trees mirrored the promise of abundance that rituals, including blood offerings, sought to secure. 2. Sacred space. Groves offered a natural enclosure set apart from daily life, enhancing the sense of divine presence. Their isolation made them ideal for secretive or, ecstatic rites, if I'm saying that right, like those involving sexuality or sacrifice, right? So you didn't want to be all out in the open, getting all freaky and nasty. The groves provided a kind of like a cover and made it feel secluded. 3, it says cosmic connection. High places with trees linked earth to sky. See, that's why he built it on the high places. A fitting stage for deities like Ishtar, Venus, and Ashtoreth. Blood spilled there was an offering to both terrestrial and celestial forces. 4. Cultural tradition. The practice echoed broader Semitic and Indo-European customs where oaks, cedars, or palms were venerated as conduits to the divine, a belief seen from Ugarit to Greece. See? So, all of these things are seen pretty much in this dang video, man. And they're being pushing, like I said, every single time we get around a celestial event, whether it's a lunar eclipse, a solar eclipse, whether it's, spring equinox that just passed and everything that's coming, they're pushing out these energies on there, man. And it tells me they definitely are trying to conjure up this energy because they're getting ready to do something. They're getting ready to make moves. Whether it's the MOTB, World War III, the complete upheaval of what we understand now to go into their new digital age, man. And these type of rituals that they push out there put a vibration out there, man. For sure. Let me see what Esau says.
The first guy in the lake of gravy? I guess. I don't know what's happening. Let's find out. Oh, she's dipping him into the gravy.
KFC.
I will personally never be eating KFC.
That's fantastic. What was that?
I don't know if they're cannibal. I don't know. Like, are they saying that our meat is human? Not. I don't know the messaging here.
How would I want to eat chicken?
I don't know.
Okay, I guess
You dipped a human being in gravy, and he became a piece of fried chicken.
This is the British KFC.
Don't get it.
For what it's worth.
Wow, is that weird?
that was pretty cool.
Cool.
That was really cool.
It was creepy. It
Okay,
was
this guy has
bizarre.
Okay, we're talking to a guy who runs a chicken army.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And whoever the demon that's talking about, that's pretty cool. You tell they got demons on them. But yeah, man, this is what they're pushing out here. It's just absolutely wild. But it all goes back to these ancient customs. It all goes back to the worshiping of these different gods and idols, and pushing that left hand magic go. So, leave a comment, man. Leave a scripture if it comes to mind. With that being said, call hello Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you Akim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, and sincerity and truth. Shalom.